Hey everyone, what's up? I want to look at some Barry Windsor Smith today. This is going to be looking at this book. He only illustrated issue 1, Wildstorm Rising. So, in my opinion, very underappreciated. I'm going to call it a fill-in, even though it's an issue 1. I consider it a fill-in. He did not illustrate issue 2. He only did this first book. And there's a little bit of lore behind it. I had heard around at the time when this book was coming out. I think, let me think here. I'm trying to believe where. I think I was at Extreme Studios. I think we were just wrapping up. What was it? Extreme Sacrifice, I think was the run of books. Basically, the Image creators, they were kind of trying to emulate a little bit of that. That Marvel wow factor. Every summer the X titles would have an event, and Jim and Rob absolutely were pulling off of that. I think what was it? Age of Apocalypse was hot at Marvel at the time. So Jim Lee did this thing, Wildstorm Rising, and it ran across less than a dozen books, several months, and Rob did the same. I don't remember how many books ours ran. We had several series that kind of ran between it, plus the Maximum Press stuff was taken off at the time. So anyways, yeah, I had heard around, I guess Barry wasn't really happy with working on this project, and it doesn't really show in the work, in my opinion. This is some of his strongest work from this time period, in my opinion. So, art for inspiration. We're not examining the story here. We're literally looking at the art. Different aspects of storytelling. This is a strong cover. Really dig this. I tried to organize these in a folder so I'm not looking at a book too. The camera's been a little bit wonky, even with the OBS, with the editing capabilities. So we're going to take a peek at this. So here's the cover here. I believe Barry inked himself right here. Most of his inks around this time, so what was it, like Rune? There was some other stuff coming out too. Alex Bialy, I probably am mispronouncing that, was inking a lot of Barry stuff, like a lot. I think Barry would do some of the splashes and stuff, and then Bialy would do a lot of the panel work stuff. So, but definitely Match Made in Heaven. His inks are super cool. Super cool. I do really like this too. This reminds me a little bit with the stacked characters like this and these pillared panels where you just essentially split a page right down the middle right there. The Deathmate books. I know Deathmate. I think Deathmate Black may have did it. I know Deathmate Red for sure did. All of Rob's pages were like that. But it's a really cool. It just looks cool. It just looks cool. Not necessarily good form for storytelling, but there is no point A to point B between these two panels, really. Just shows different. I'm assuming just different areas of the planet or whatnot, and what they're witnessing. Pretty cool double pager right here. I wish this was high res. I could get way in there. I think at the very end of this video, I do have some original artwork. I think they're high res scans that we can peek at. I kind of grabbed what I could find. And guys, most of this you can find on like a simple internet search. This is cool right here. I really like this. This is something you don't really see. I don't think I ever saw Jim Lee ever draw this. This is showing the actual. I don't even know what they're like, the horns coming out of Maul's back right there. So that's pretty cool. It's cool that he drew that. But yeah, good composition, awesome detail as usual. Another epic double page splash. This doesn't look like. I think this is Bialy's ink. This doesn't remind me of. Barry Windsor Smith has a lot more of like a thick to thin tapered look, even at this time frame, and this to me looks a little more true to the pencils probably, but Barry, I feel like Barry would have did a little bit more noodling in areas like this, but still this is freaking rad. I love this book. Yeah, and if you do decide to get these, there is a trade paperback as well, which is affordable. It's just hard to find. The most I've ever seen it for is about 25 bucks, and at least I've seen it as low as $2.99 with free ship on eBay. I'm not kidding about that. But this single issue, if you want to avoid all the other issues, it went through like Union and Grifter, Team 7. I believe there was an issue for Deathblow. Gen 13 actually, the story went through there as well. This is an awesome panel. I love this. Gen 13 at the time, J. Scott Campbell was like the hottest thing since sliced bread when that Gen, I think it was issue 2 or 3, and it's like you can't just yank that cover, because what happened was Barry Windsor Smith did covers across the entire Wildstorm universe, and J. Scott was like literally the most popular artist in comic books at the time. So what they did was they actually created it as a flip book. And the back cover was J. Scott Campbell was obviously given his own cover on that specific issues. The other books, though, Wetworks, Wildcats, all that, it was just the Barry Windsor Smith front cover. So, and I think out of all of them, I think Union actually had the strongest cover in my opinion, as far as like being a dynamic piece. And then the cover to the second book of this series, and this is all this. Okay, yeah, this book's entire. This is all fighting, but it's drawn really, really well. The second issue has I think it's a trifold or a quad fold-out front cover, and I got that in here too, so I can show you guys that. This is cool. Look at Spartan's leg here. This is like a throwback to almost like Machine Man right here. His legs all jacked up. This is a cool shot too. Yeah, I really like that. This almost feels like a Jim Lee layout. This lean with the blast. Yeah, it feels like a Jim Lee. I wonder. I am curious maybe if Jim did some layouts for this. Some of this feels like Jim layouts to me. I have not heard that he did that. I'm just making up scenarios in my mind. This is cool too. This right, I know it's just an eyeball. This right here, it's almost like Paradox Man. It feels like Paradox Man. Paradox Man was featured in another video I got. Barry Windsor Smith put out a series of books, and you guys can check that out. It's really easy. Just go on the search and look up Barry or Barry Windsor Smith, and you can find it. Yeah, these are cool. These are rad. And I do like the fact that they kind of tried to stay true a little bit to like the coloring scheme, like this right here. If you look at the rendering, this isn't cuts and grads. This is like more like the coloring you found in Weapon X or the Rune book, or even a lot of his Conan lithos or prints, cover pieces he was coloring of his own. So I do like that they didn't abandon his coloring style. Look how big Void is here. That's wild. She comes out and picks him up, and he looks small right here. I remember that because the next page she's like a giant. Turn it. Look how big she is. It looks kind of silly. It's cool, but it's like it's almost like channeling a little bit of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, right? Got Maul back here, getting torched up. These are really cool pages. And I would actually bet too that a lot of kids that were like diehard Image fans, and they weren't really digging, they didn't really stick around with the Marvel books and stuff. There's probably a pretty large portion of them that this could have possibly been their first look at some good Barry Windsor Smith work. and not just, you know, hearing the lore of him from comic shop owners and stuff, you know. I really like this panel right here too. That's so cool. Again, these layouts, these feel, you know, I wonder how much with dynamic scene storytelling that Jim actually pulls or pulled in the past from Barry Windsor Smith. These are cool. Let's see here. And I think this is towards the end of it right here. This book was only like 20, I think 26 or 27 pages, maybe 28 of actual storytelling, and then there were some pages after it. It's got Wildcats and Stormwatch regrouping. Another cool double page spread. This is really, really cool, Mr. Majestic up here. I'm not really feeling his backlash. Looks kind of goofy. He probably, you know, this is probably the one and only time he ever drew the character too, though. So, Death Blow. It's got a little bit of a. This is one thing Barry Windsor Smith does once in a while. There will sometimes be. He has a lot of romanticism in his posturing of characters, and a lot of times I feel like he allows that to take over the contour of the character, not just the. And it works really well in arms and fingers, right? But when it starts moving into things that are essentially immovable, you know, skull caps, eye sockets, teeth, he still like kind of lets that same rule apply to those things. And yes, it is a comic, so you know there are no real rules, but he kind of breaks some of the rules with that. That's funny. This he might have actually been looking at a J. Scott Campbell piece. This looks really similar to that that cover to Gen 13-1. Cool shot, cool drawing right here too. You got the character there. All right, continued in Wildcats 20. All right, so we got to take a peek there. Hopefully that was high enough res for the video. Let's see here. Okay, so it's going to tell us here. Oh, so okay, so you had John Floyd on inks as well. So Bialy inked. Man, they really. Okay, this whole thing's a teeter-totter. 2, 3, 6, 10, 11, 13, 14. Floyd 1, 4, 5, 7. Okay. And then it looks like Barry Windsor Smith and Eric Hope were the colorists. I'm not entirely sure if that is Barry Windsor Smith's studio handling the digital colors, or if it was a Wildstorm color. I don't know if Eric Hope was an employee there or not, but it looks like Barry Windsor Smith had his hand in the coloring as well, so that makes sense. Good job. Yeah, I got some photo. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the complete set. You got the Wetworks up here, the Deathblow issue, the Grifter issue, the Gen 13 book, which, like I said, you flip this book over, essentially like a flip book, and the front cover could also be displayed as a J. Scott Campbell cover. It was printed upside down, so that way the spine on this side is still on the left. So that means you could bag and board it, and it won't be a backwards book. Yeah, this is my favorite cover of them all. Ironically, it looks the least like this could even pass for a Ryan Benjamin cover at first glance, but I do think it's the strongest one. The Wildcats cover here. This was interesting because this feels like the simplest cover, yet you had Travis Trey on the interior, so it almost felt I don't know. It was weird. It was like an imbalance. It's almost like Travis should have just did the cover on this book. Giant face. Again, I love this cover. The Team 7 cover, also awesome. The Team 7 cover would work really well for like a horror anthology or something. Here we go. Issue number 2. So it's a triple. Wait. So this book would go here. It's a 4 piece, I think. Kind of eyeballing it. So 1, 2. It might be 3 or 4. Anyways, it's more than 2. This is the back cover right here. This is the front cover. So if it goes here to here, go here to here. So it's a quad fold. Here'd be a fold right here, and then it would go over, and then there'd be a fold right here. Badass piece. I love this piece of art. What a great collage. And he didn't just do faces. You know, a lot of people will just draw a bunch of faces, like just to get out. It's like a quick out for any artist. Like, oh, just draw a bunch of faces. He actually came in and drew like elements, like full character, a little bit of an action pose here. What's her name? Diva. Cool extended shot showing the physique of Union. You got the villain there. You got it's majestic. This is forgivable. Giant head of Void, and that's a cool. It's a pretty cool looking death blow with the downed alien down there, and then you got Hellspot in the middle. This is just a cool design. Seeing the two mirroring baddies right there. This was the Grifter cover up close. I did not grab all of them, but here's a few. There's a Grifter cover. My favorite thing, funny enough, about these is the hands. I do like that he gave them a little bit of character. So you got like the fingers coming up here. He's got the little pinky out. If you guys ever see me eating ice cream or drinking wine, that pinky usually shoots right out. Again, that Team 7 cover featuring Deathblow. It's a very cool one. I'm an arachnophobe. I don't like seeing all these bugs all over him. That's kind of gross. Here's that Union cover. Yeah, it's kind of low res. Inks by Bialy, it looks like. Yeah. Again, I said, you know, it's this thing here. I know Golden probably just pulls his designs out of the ether, but this does feel like feels like almost like a backwards S right here, like around there. It also kind of has a like the clump designs when you have everything kind of clustered in the middle and they kind of move their way out a little bit, but they don't really break that cluster. I almost feel like that's a Michael Golden trait in art. I do like that Spartan's like completely jacked up right there. That's cool. Because for most of the series, you don't really see him. You know, you'll see him lose an arm or something, but it never feels like dangerous. Like you know he's too important to the series that they're not going to let him get messed up too bad. Not like Wills. Wills was like, I'm going to kill a couple characters in my book. Here we go. All right, so let's see here. We got Barry Windsor Smith on pencils, and let's see, you got Floyd inks on this. So this is half. I think this is half of a double pager, isn't it? I think it is. So you get to see the pencils here. Look at that cross hatching. This thing is cross hatched all to hell. Very, very good usage, creating those gray areas, cool dynamic, and good fades. And see, like right here, like you can tell, he really retains what Barry put on the paper. So, and the contours of the characters are perfect as well. You can see that. Let's see, this was another page. Yeah, it's just something I grabbed off. I think I grabbed it off. I might have grabbed it off Barry. Barry has a website. I think it's Barry Windsor Smith Studios or something like that. Here's another double page spread. Look at that ink right there. Look at where they spotted it. You can see some of the. That's not intended grayscale. That's actually, you know, like black magic that was just a little diluted. And you can see it there in the leg too on Diva. Yeah, this is a great page. Or not Diva, this is, oh, God, what's her name? The Goggles. Goggles Girl. Yeah, Jim Lee created Goggles Girl. All right, and then you get to see the pencils to that double page, or the quadruple cover, I guess. I'm going to call it a quad. If I'm wrong, let me know. I don't own this book, but I got the JPEGs. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is all strong. I do think the inker kind of fixed the face on Deathblow. I feel like Deathblow's face was fixed a little bit. Oh yes, and this is a much better illustration of Backlash right here. That's super cool. All right. So I think this was an advertisement. I'm not entirely sure. I think this was an ad. It looks like Barry Inkin himself. And super loosey goosey. Look at this. Look how loose. That's like, just get it done. Just get it done. Right? I think I got the color. Yeah, there's the colorized file there. Much stronger in color. Because really, when these were coming out, I was still a kid. Even though I was working at Extreme, I was still a teenager. So um, what your eye is going to pick up on seeing something like this on the shelf would be anything here where the yellow's meeting the orange. So you'd be seeing this rendering here, and then you'd be making that judgment call, like the very light renders going on in those areas. All this stuff in here is just going to kind of blend. Even though there's a lot of work on it in the inks, like there's a lot of work in that. Look at that. Look at all that right there. Yeah, as a young fan, that's what you're going to pick up on. You're going those hot spots are what's going to draw your eye, and then you're going to kind of make a judgment call. Your brain's going to tell you either it looks good or not good. Let's see here. Trevor Scott. Okay, check this out. Trevor Scott inks. That makes sense. Yeah, because Trevor Scott actually, I think, was the artist on Deathblow. This was the cover to Deathblow. This is really cool. This is really cool. Look at that. Look at that. It's like straight out of Scott Williams school right there. All see this stuff right there. I still do that today. I don't even care. I throw it on everything. It just looks cool. All right, so you got that right there. Good job, Trey. You know, I for whatever reason that never registered with me till right now. And then you got the Barry Windsor Smith inking himself. So good. I really like this. Is a weird, unconventional way of drawing like warp energy. It just looks cool though. It's all thick and gooey. And then, oh yeah, good thing I label my files. Trade paperback. So this is the line art. I don't think I grabbed the. Did I? Yeah, this is the last file, guys. But anyways, this is the trade paperback cover. Look at this logo area. Pretty cool, consistent lighting. Background characters are lower lit. Foreground characters are just standard. That works good. So yeah, strong illustration. Everything in this piece looks pretty cool. I'm curious when he drew this. Just some of the characters. As much as I like this piece, there's elements of it that feel like the heart may not have been in it as much as I initially thought. Yeah, you got some of the characters. Who's that? Dane. Some of the Wetworks characters. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for checking this out. Don't forget to visit my website, AmericanDiscord.com. I will use it as a redirect for campaigns if I'm campaigning a book. If not, it goes to my Big Cartel store. So yeah, thanks for watching.